Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. The tensions between Eva and Darlene finally reach its breaking point, and we are breaking down the confrontation that changed everything tonight. Tonight, the masks fell off as Darlene confronted Eva with a shocking slap and accusations of a hidden past. This emotional explosion revealed that Eva's carefully curated life was built on a foundation of lies and betrayal. The atmosphere had been building like a massive storm ready to break, thick with layers of tension, old resentment, and secrets that had been hidden away for far too long inside the grand living room, where the elegance usually served to mask the chaos churning beneath the surface. Everything felt different and heavy tonight. The air was sharp and almost suffocating, as if every single person present could sense that something completely irreversible was about to happen. Honestly, you could feel the pressure in the room rising by the second, and it was as if the very walls were leaning in to hear the scandal. Eva stood near the fireplace, her posture perfectly rigid and her chin lifted in a classic look of defiance. But her eyes betrayed a tiny flicker of unease. I can't even imagine how much she was sweating internally. She had been in plenty of difficult situations before. She knew exactly how to argue, how to deflect, and how to survive, but this felt different. This felt personal. It was like she knew her usual shield was gone. When Darlene entered the room, the entire atmosphere shifted instantly. She didn't storm in or raise her voice right away. No, her power came from something much quieter and much more dangerous, her silence, her stillness, and the look in her eyes. It was the look of someone who had reached her absolute limit. Someone who had nothing left to lose. I have never seen someone look so focused and terrifying at the same time. Every step she took toward Eva echoed like a warning bell, and yet Eva didn't move an inch. She refused to give Darlene that satisfaction of seeing her flinch. You could feel the electricity between them. So, Eva said coolly, finally breaking the silence first. You finally decided to show up. Her voice was controlled, but there was a distinct edge to it, a challenge. Darlene stopped just a few feet away, studying her carefully as if she were measuring every single word she was about to say next. I didn't come here to play games, Darlene replied, her tone low but firm. I came here to end them. You could have heard a pin drop after she said that. A murmur rippled through the crowded room. A few onlookers shifted uncomfortably. Sensing that this confrontation was about to escalate, Eva let out a soft, dismissive laugh. And them? She repeated. You really think you have that kind of power? Darlene didn't respond right away. Instead, she took another step forward, her gaze locked onto Eva's eyes. I think, she said slowly, that you have gotten away with too much for too long. That was enough to ignite the spark. Eva's composure cracked just slightly as her eyes narrowed. You don't know anything about me. She shot back, her tone becoming sharper, and whatever you think you have figured out, you are wrong. Darlene tilted her head, a faint, almost pitying smile forming on her lips. Am I? She asked quietly, because from where I'm standing, everything is finally starting to make sense. The room seemed to shrink around them, the tension tightening like a vice. Eva's heart began to pound, though she refused to show it to the audience. She had spent years building her image, crafting her narrative, and ensuring that no one could see the truth beneath the surface. There was no way Darlene could unravel that. Not now, not like this. You are bluffing, Eva said, though her voice lacked its earlier confidence. You have always been good at creating drama, but this is just desperate. The word desperate hung in the air like a challenge. For a split second, Darlene's expression hardened, something raw and emotional flashing across her face. It was a look of pure betrayal, and then, before anyone could react, her hand moved. The slap echoed through the room, loud and shocking, cutting through the tension like a gunshot. Eva's head snapped to the side, her body staggering slightly from the force of the blow. A collective gasp rose from the onlookers, the sheer audacity of the moment leaving everyone stunned. I'm still in shock that she actually swung. The time seemed to freeze as Eva slowly brought her hand to her cheek, her eyes wide with disbelief. No one had ever dared to do something like that to her. When Eva turned back to face Darlin, the fire in her eyes had changed. It was no longer just defiance. It was fury, pure, unfiltered rage. You just crossed a line you can't come back from, Eva said, her voice trembling, not with fear but with anger. But Darlin didn't flinch. If anything, she seemed more composed now, as if that single act had cleared away with whatever hesitation she once had. No, Darlin replied calmly. The line was crossed a long time ago. I'm just the one finally calling it out. Eva scoffed, though the tension in her body betrayed her calling what out. She demanded, what exactly do you think you know? Darling, take a deep breath. Her gaze unwavering, I know enough. She said, enough to understand who you really are, and what you have been hiding. A flicker of panic crossed Eva's face, quick, almost imperceptible, but it was there, and Darlene saw it. She knew she had her cornered. That's right, Darlene continued, her voice gaining strength. You can pretend all you want, Eva. You can keep spinning your lies, manipulating everyone around you, but the truth doesn't just disappear, it waits, and eventually it comes out. Eva shook her head, backing up a step. Eva's eyes were darting around the room, looking for an exit. Stop it, she said sharply. You are making a fool of yourself. But Darlene wasn't finished. Not even close. You have been lying about your past, Darlene said, each word deliberate, heavy, about who you are, about what you did. The room fell silent again. Every person hanging on her words, Eva's breathing quickened, her mind racing. There were too many secrets, too many things she had buried. Which one was Darlene talking about? He could see the fear in her eyes as the walls started closing in. You think no one would ever find out? Darlene went on. You thought you could just walk away from it? Start over, pretend it never happened. Eva's voice broke through, sharp and defensive. The silence was so heavy you could almost touch it. I don't know what you are talking about, but her denial only fueled Darlene further. I'm talking about the truth. Darlene snapped. The truth about that night, the truth about what you took and who you betrayed. Eva froze, just for a second, but it was enough. It was a total tell. Darlene stepped closer, lowering her voice but making sure every word hit its mark. You didn't just lie, Eva, she said. It destroyed lives, and now it's time everyone knows. This was the moment Eva had dreaded for years. A wave of whispers spread through the room. Faces turned toward Eva, curiosity and suspicion replacing the admiration they once held. Eva felt it, the shift, the change in perception, and it terrified her. You don't have any proof, she said quickly, her voice rising. You can't just accuse me of something like that and expect people to believe you. Darlene's lips curled into a small, knowing smile. Oh, I have proof, she said. More than enough. Eva's heart dropped. You could see the color leaving her cheeks. What proof? She demanded. Where did you even get something like that? Darlene didn't answer right away. Instead, she let the silence stretch, letting Eva's fear grow until it was unbearable. Then finally she delivered the blow. The person you have trying so hard to protect, Darlene began, her eyes locked onto Eva's, isn't who you think they are. Eva's expression faltered, confusing confusion mixing with fear. What does that even mean? She asked. Darlene took one final step forward, her voice dropping to a near whisper. The confrontation will have massive ripple effects. Eva's reputation is now in shambles, and the consequences of her past will be felt for a long time. Darlene was right to call her out. Watching Eva try to play the victim was peak drama, and I am dying to know the truth. What do you think? Did Eva deserve it? Drop your theories below. Hit like and subscribe for more deep dives into the drama.